patience. It's supposed to be number one. You have to prove to your interviewer that you have patience. You're always calm, no matter what it is. You're calm, you're patient. Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Saidatu and this is Saidatu's Daily. Thank you very much for always coming back to watch my videos. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome to the family. Please do well to subscribe so you keep watching beautiful content from me. And for my old subscribers, thank you so much for always watching my videos. We really do appreciate. Today we're going to be talking about something very important. I've had a lot of questions about this and I just felt I should do a video to address it. Over here in Canada, the customer care representative job is one job that people usually start with when they land. It requires some skills, and these skills are going to be asked during the interview, and there are also things that are required to appear in your CV for your CV to even be selected for an interview. So if you have these skills lined up in your CV, then you'll be very sure to have a call back to schedule an interview. And then when you have the interview, you need to explain the skills you outlined on your CV. So it's very important to understand the skill set required to be a customer care representative, especially here in Canada. So I recommend you take a pen and paper to jot down the points I'm going to be listing out so you have a better understanding of the video. So once in a while, I'm going to be looking down at my system over here to explain to you. I have them listed down on my laptop. So let's go straight into it. So to start with, I'm going to be dividing the skill set into two. That is the hard skills and then the soft skills. These two skill sets are required for the job, and I'm going to be explaining about 7 hard skills and about let's say 5 soft skills required to be a customer care representative here in Canada. So I'm going to be starting with one of the hard skills, which is having an excellent communication skill. So this skill is highly recommended for a customer care representative because you're going to be listening to people's complaints. You're going to be addressing their complaints. So you need to have an understanding of what they're talking about. You need to be able to put down to paper whatever it is that they're complaining about. You listen to understand, and then you have to write it down also, because as a customer care rep, you're going to be listening and at the same time writing, giving reports of what the customer called for. So if you don't have a good communication skill, then you're going to suffer in the job. So you need to really have an excellent way of communication. So over here, if you're new, you coming from, for example, Nigeria, it will take you time to be able to understand what the people are saying because of the accents. You're new, you don't understand how they speak, and they don't also understand you. So you need to find a way to bridge that gap to be able to listen to them and understand what they're saying. So having a good communication skill requires you to pay attention, to ask questions like, okay, they've said something, and to get a clearer understanding, you're going to be asking like discovery questions like, okay, this is what you said, is this like this, is this what you're saying? You should be able to repeat what the person has said to you. So the person, for example, is calling to tell you, oh, I have issue logging into my account. Then you should be able to paraphrase back to the person that, if I understand you correctly, you're saying you're finding it difficult to log into your account. Am I correct? So if in the first instance you don't understand what the person is saying, then you're going to struggle, because you have to be telling the person to kind of like repeat himself and herself, and which can be very irritating, because the person calling you in the first place is already getting frustrated. Pick up her phone to call the customer care line, and then you are stressing her out trying to understand what she's saying. So you have to have an excellent communication skill. So I'm going to go to the second one, which is active listening. So active listening looks similar to having an excellent communication skill, but active listening goes a long way to make the customer know that you are listening and understanding what the person is saying. So if you're going to do a customer care role where you're going to be facing the customer, then you should be able to show that you're actively with the person while the person is talking. For example, you nod, you'll be like, okay, yeah, okay. So the person knows you're listening. you know, you face the person, look at the person, and nod where appropriate, and respond where the person is like asking, like, you know, just flow with the person. And when you're talking with the person over the phone, of course you're not seeing the person, but the person can sense that you're listening to him. If at every interjection, at every point the person is talking, you're like, okay, yeah, correct, yeah, I understand. So the person knows you're actively listening. And in such cases, you as a customer care rep will not even struggle, because you're really listening to the person. Unlike when the person is talking and then you're busy typing or you're pressing your phone or something, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. So you have to prove to the interviewer that you have the skills to actively listen to the person. So that is the second most important hard skill you need to have as a customer care representative. So the third skill is actually product knowledge. So for every role as a customer care representative, you're going to be trained on the particular product of that company, so that when a customer is calling you, you know what to say at every point in time. So for example, the company I worked for, we were trained for like 6 weeks, paid training, of course. We were trained on the job, on the products, on the services. You know, coming from Nigeria, you know, it is a different mindset entirely, it's a different ball game entirely. You know, what you know, you have to unlearn it and learn the new ones. So you're going to be given a lot of time to learn. 6 weeks, sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes 1 week, but for us we had like 5-6 weeks to learn. And even when we're released to take calls, we're also supervised. You know, you have people that you could ask questions and will answer you within 1 minute, within 2 minutes. You know, of course within time they leave you because they know you're okay. You know, so you're going to be trained. So you have to prove to the interviewer that you're a fast learner, whatever it is, or wherever company you're interviewing for, you are fast to learn whatever it is that they're going to train you on. You know, because you have to prove to them that you easily grasp whatever it is that you're taught, because you need to know the product. So you imagine, after being trained, they trained us for like 4 weeks, and we're going out to production. They call it production. You know, we're scared. Like, a customer could just call you for random things, like you don't even know what it is. So you have to have an idea. Somebody will just call you and ask you a question which you were trained on. Maybe the day they were even training you, you're busy chatting with a friend over the phone, or you're not listening, and then the customer calls on that particular subject. You know, so you have to prove to the interviewer that whatever it is that the company you're interviewing for, like, you easily learn and you can easily understand whatever it is that you're taught, to be able to help with whatever customer calls for. So that is the third one. Product knowledge is very, very important. So for the fourth one, you have to prove that you have product problem solving skills. So what does that mean? People call you for different things. You should prove to the interviewer that you have the mindset, you have the skills to be able to solve whatever problem the person is calling for. However complex it is, you always find a way to solve the problem. Where you don't understand or where you cannot help, you definitely escalate. You're definitely going to ask a supervisor to assist you, but you definitely help the customer. You have the ability to be able to keep a customer calm while you're trying to resolve the person's problem. Even if you have to put the customer on hold, you're definitely going to do it in good time to get the right answer for the person's inquiries, to resolve the person's problem. In the process of solving some people's problem, the customer may be agitated, may be rude, may be insulting, may be impatient, but you as a customer care, you have to have the skills to be able to solve whatever problem that person is coming with. However the person presents it, if the person is calm, if the person is being rude, the person is not directing the rudeness to you. Even if it's directing the problem, the rudeness or the frustration on you, you have the ability to remain calm and to be able to solve complex problems by making inquiries and all that. So you have to prove to them that you have that skill. So for the fifth one, you have to prove to the interviewer that you have time management skills. Time management skills has to do with how you are able to handle a customer's inquiries, a customer's queries within the right time frame according to the organization. Of course, most customers that call you want their problem solved immediately. I may want to watch, for example, I may want to watch a movie, and I go to my cable, click on the station I want to work, and it's telling me it's not connecting or I have internet problem. I call the customer care representative. I don't have time to waste. The show is almost showing, is almost airing, or is already airing. I'm already missing out on my show. So I need my issue resolved. So you have to prove to the interviewer that you are able to resolve issues at the right time. And sometimes some customers are impatient, some of them are patient enough. Even if you want to resolve that issue within 1 hour, they're calm, they're okay, but you should be able to resolve issues at the right time. And aside resolving each customer's issues, when it comes to you sending your report, when it comes to you doing tax in-house on your job, you have the ability to be able to prioritize, like, this is important, or this task can wait, this particular one is important, I have to do it. Like, even if you have 2 issues of a customer, definitely one will be more important or urgent than the other one. So that sometimes that a task, something is important but not urgent, and you have a task that is urgent and important, so you go for the one that is urgent and important. The other one that is urgent, that is important but not urgent, can always wait. So you should be able to know how to prioritize. You should be able to prove that you are able to use your calendar well, to be able to set time reminders and all that, to be able to manage time effectively. So that is the 5th skill you need to prove to your interviewer that you have to be able to be an ideal customer care representative. So the 6th skill, which is very, very important, which is even supposed to be the first one, if you want to be a customer care representative here in Canada, is the technical proficiency. What does this mean? So being a customer care representative, you're going to be working with, definitely you're going to have a computer, you have a system, you have the internet, you have everything, you have the software of the company, you have the different applications you'll be working with at a time. First of all, it's not negotiable that you don't have skills to work on a computer, like on a desktop, on a system, like, of course, I know that from my home country, some jobs you do back home, you don't even need a system, you don't need a computer, you may not even know how to turn on a computer or turn it off or something. If you're that kind of person, then you have to first of all go and even learn how to navigate a system, how to work on a system first of all, before you can, because mostly you work from home as a customer care rep. Even if you're going to be working from the office, nobody is going to train you on how to use Microsoft Word, how to turn on your system, how to plug it on, how to know. Those are basics that is expected, So if you don't have that technical profession, that one, just go and learn it first before you come to this aspect. And if you're good at it, then you move to the next stage, because the training you're going to have, they're going to introduce you to the software of the organization. You have the customer relationship management portal, the CRM. You may have Salesforce, a lot of things. Like the job I did as a customer care representative, I had 2 monitors, I had 2 systems, and that I was working with at the same time. A customer calls you, you're working on 2 monitors at the same time with about 4 applications opened. You're typing, you're doing, so you must be able to you must have the skills to be able to work on a system. You don't have any tech IT department next door that you could talk to come and help you connect. In fact, when you get the job, they send your system to you. Your system is not going to come with a technician to come and help you fix your system at home. It is expected you should be able to couple up your system from the pack. You open the pack, you couple up everything yourself. So you must have the technical proficiency. all the tools you need to work, you should be able to navigate them without recourse to somebody coming to help you. Of course, that sometimes you may have issues, you could contact the IT department online, but you're not going to call the person that can't turn on my system. Then what are you doing as a customer care representative? So that is like the basic one. They're going to train you on their software, on how to navigate on Salesforce and all that, but you have to have the basics. So if you don't have that knowledge of using a system, using a computer, this may not be for you. You may have to go and learn more before you come to this, or just ditch it and go look for some other kind of job, because you're on your system 24/7 throughout your shifts. It's not, even me that I'm moving here, my former job in Nigeria, I was always on my system and all that. Sometimes I also struggle, not to even talk of somebody that doesn't even have the technical know-how of using a system. So very, very important. So the last skill I'm going to be talking about, the last hard skill I'm going to be talking about is conflict resolution. How well are you when it comes to resolving a conflict between you and your customer? How do you empathize with them? How do you stay calm throughout when they're talking, when they're insulting, when they're yelling? How professional are you? How are you able to, whatever it is they say, don't take it personal. Always assume they're not venting at you, because sometimes they'll call you and be like, am I fighting with you? I just picked up your call and you don't know me from anywhere. Why are you screaming? You don't know what person is passing through and you don't care. You're just there as a professional listening to them. How calm are you? How are you able to do that? Even when you don't have the answers to them, how are you able to communicate that to the customer? So you have to prove to the interviewer that you remain calm whenever it is that there's a problem, whenever it is there's an inquiry, you remain calm no matter how rude the person is to you. You stay calm. You listen to the person. You are able to listen to the person to understand what the person is saying, and then you prefer solutions according to what the customer needs. So you have to be able to prove that you have that skill. You have to prove, and I'll also do a video where we'll be answering some interview questions, and that is the reason why you should subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on this where you are going to be answering questions to show that you have these skills using situations that have happened to you. For example, they'll tell me a time when you're able to resolve a conflict with a customer and how were you able to do it. Tell me a time when you had an angry customer, how were you able to resolve it. So you're going to use situations, examples. Interviewers like examples over here of how you're able to do things, how you're able to do stuff. So we're going to be treating that. Okay, so that is like the 7 hard skills you should present to your interviewer in your CV, and also when you're having a verbal interview with the interviewer. It's really going to help you. You could master all these skills, and out of the 7, you could talk about 5, you could talk about 4. But when you're talking about anyone you choose, you should be able to elaborate and possibly even use examples to explain the skills you have to be able to do this job. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the soft skills. Earlier I mentioned that we're going to be talking about 5 soft skills required to be a customer care representative, especially here in Canada. So the first one is going to be communication also. The communication skills cannot be overemphasized, because all through your job, you're communicating with the customer, you're communicating with the supervisor, you're communicating with your colleagues. So you must be able to prove that you have excellent communication skill. It's a hard skill, it's a soft skill. You should be able to convey your information in the right way, to the customer. You should be able to understand what the person is saying. You should be able to talk in such a way the person understands what you're saying. I also struggle in this aspect because of my accent. I'm telling you something and the person is telling me, I don't understand. You have a strong accent and all that. It comes with practice. But you should be able to prove that I have excellent communication skills. I'm able to listen to my customer. I'm able to communicate and in a precise way that people understand what I am saying, is really, really crucial. So the second one is, the second soft skill is empathy. How are you able to empathize with your customers when they call you? Most times they call angry, they need solutions to their problem. How are you able to put yourself in their shoes to understand what the person, because if you don't understand what the person is going through, you're not going to show enough emotions to that person. The person calls you and say, for the past 2 hours I've not had internet in my house. I don't know what to do. I've not been able to watch my movies, my phone. I've not been able to do anything. You don't just go straight to the point that, okay, I'm going to transfer you to technical support. No, you are not showing you have empathy. You're supposed to be like, oh, I feel so bad about that. I understand how it feels not to have internet in this time and age. In fact, I cannot even stay without internet for 5 minutes. We're so sorry, we apologize for that. Can I transfer you to the technical support? You ask questions like, when did it start? Have you checked your modem? Meanwhile, you're actually checking the person's system to see that we didn't disconnect the person, maybe due to non-pay, or maybe there is network outage in that area and all that. Even if there is network outage in that area affecting the person, you still apologize. Oh, we apologize for this. We're supposed to actually send you an email to tell you there'll be internet outage in your area. We apologize. You know, you empathize with that person. To be very hard, I said that person's head is not correct, like the person just keep yelling at you. The person will know that, oh, you understand how it feels. In fact, sometimes the person will be like, oh yeah, me too, I can't even live without internet. I can't remember the last time I never had internet in my house, you know. Unlike if you just jump straight to the point and like, yeah, there's a power outage in your area, there's an internet outage in your area, it doesn't show you empathize with that person, you know. So you have to prove to the interviewer that you have empathy for people, you know. So the third one is patience. Patience. It's supposed to be number one. You have to prove to your interviewer that you have patience. You're always calm, no matter what it is. You're calm, you're patient. You're patient to listen to the person ranting. You're patient to whatever it is. You know they vex. You have to prove. Because aside the fact that you're trying to impress the interviewer, you need it. In fact, when you want to be a customer care rep, you have to change your name from Saadatu to Patience, because you need it. You cannot shout on your customer. You cannot shut the person up. Like, can you keep quiet? Let me talk. You've been talking. You called for the last 3 minutes. You've been talking. You are not allowing me to talk to you. You cannot. You have to be patient. Or you are saying the same thing to the person. The same thing you are telling the person is not understanding. You need to find ways for the person to understand. Or you're talking to an old woman. You know, over here we have the population is quite old. Most people that call you are old people. You could hear their voices even shaking as they're talking to you. They'll tell you they need hearing aid. They can't hear you well. Can you speak louder? Can you shout? And then I'll be screaming, can you hear me now? And my husband maybe passing my room will just peep like, is my wife okay? Why is she yelling? Because the customer told you to speak louder. You have to shout. You have to be patient with them. You have to prove that you're a patient person. You are patient with whoever, whatever it is that comes your way. You're okay. Apart from impressing your interviewer, you need it on the job. You really need it on the job. So the fourth one I'm going to be talking about, sorry, my system is doing something, is adaptability. How are you able to cope with different situations? How are you able to deal with different people? You meet all types of people, the young, the old, the nice, the very unnice, if there's anything like that, the understanding one, the one that does not. You meet all sorts. How are you able to adapt? The first call you had, the person was really nice, really understanding. You put the person on hold for 5 minutes, and when you came back on the call, she didn't complain. Oh no, it's okay, I know you're trying to get a solution to my problem. It's fine, you could keep me on hold for longer, no problem. And the next call you have, you tell the customer that, please, can I put you on hold? And the person said, no, you can't put me on hold. I need answer right now. And you're like, I need to put you on hold. And you have to explain why you have to put the person on. So you meet all sorts of people. I explained in my other video that I have encountered a lot of people that when they just hear my accent, they'll be like, they'll just drop the call, or they'll tell you, can you pass the call to somebody that speaks English? And then the first time I had this, I was like, am I not speaking English? I did not understand what the person meant. So you meet all sorts of people. How are you able to adapt? How are you able to switch? You're supposed to be able to switch from, you just talk to someone that is good now, you're talking to somebody that is hostile, you're talking to somebody that is racist, you're talking to someone that, so how are you able to? There was a time on a call when, from the previous call, I was almost crying. I was almost shedding tears. And then I had my time elapsed for the next call to come. And before I could even compose myself, the next call came. I answered that call with that same emotions. Like, I was angry. I was like, what's I can do for this Canada? What's I can do for this job? And then the next call also came in. So you should be able to switch, like, you know, how you, that is adaptability. You should be able to show that whatever situation that comes, you're able to switch, you're able to adapt to whatever it is to do the job well. So the last soft skill we're going to talk about also is listening. It's highly important that you should be able to listen to your customer. And listening is not just you are hearing the person, you are hearing, you're understanding, and you're giving that person the vibes that you are listening to the person, so that you can grasp what the person is saying at the first time. At the first time the person talks, you should be able to understand what the person is saying, because your calls are going to be monitored. Your supervisor cannot always hear you asking the person to repeat itself 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Person repeated this. Why are you not understanding what this person is saying? So you should be able to prove that you can actively listen, you pay attention to whatever it is the person is saying, and all that is very, very, very important. So those are the skills you need to be a very, very good customer care representative. And I tell you, if you're able to present this to your interviewer when asked, then I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to get that job you're interviewing for. So I want you to leave any comments you have on the comment box. If you have any other skills that you want to explain to people to learn from, and if there's something I said that is not correct that you want to correct me, feel free to put it on the comment box, because there's nobody that is a island of knowledge, you understand? So I really appreciate it and all that. So I hope you land the job you're interviewing for, and if you do, please come back to encourage us here and put in the comment box that you got the job. So thank you very much for watching up to this point, and please subscribe, because I'm going to be talking about various interview questions that always comes from the interviewers when you are interviewing for a customer care representative job. Those questions always come. I've interviewed for several jobs as a CSR, and those questions keep repeating themselves. So please subscribe so that you'll be able to watch them. All right, thank you, and do have a nice day. Bye.